to you by...
The idea of eternal life is one that I'm not sure that we've discussed on this channel before, but it is a concept that actually terrifies me. With living forever comes the cold reality that you will have to watch everyone around you die. There is an inherent loneliness in it, one that you would carry along with you every day. This concept alone begs the question, would it be worth the price? This is a question that we will explore further today, in a bit of a different context. Hello friends, and welcome back to ETF. ZIB is a 2024 short film by Jonathan Gauthier, which presents an intriguing exploration of immortality, moral decay, and the hidden forces that manipulate humanity. The premise centers on Antonin ZIB, an individual who is granted eternal life by three mysterious figures, in exchange for performing deadly tasks that sustain their control over the world. The premise immediately sets up a tension between ZIB's personal desires and the monstrous forces he's bound to serve. At the heart of ZIB is the theme of the moral consequences of immortality. The notion of eternal life is often depicted as a double-edged sword. While it offers unending time and possibilities, it also brings with it the weight of ceaseless responsibility and moral compromise. The mysterious figures, who seem to operate in the shadows, might represent the hidden systems of control that govern the human race, manipulating individuals like ZIB as pawns in a larger game. One of the key aspects of this story is the nature of the tasks that ZIB must perform. Are these tasks truly acts of evil, or are they twisted manifestations of a greater unseen power at play? The film seems to explore the limits of personal agency, as ZIB is forced into these deadly deeds under the guise of something greater, perhaps revealing how much power and autonomy one sacrifices when placed under such a powerful eternal contract. Additionally, the three mysterious figures that grant ZIB immortality could symbolize the unholy trinity of power, control, and secrecy, themes that echo in stories of secret societies and governmental manipulation. These figures, who remain in the background while ZIB does their bidding, highlight the way in which these secret forces operate behind the scene, remaining elusive and untouchable while using individuals as their tools. The film's tone carries elements of psychological tension and existential horror, as ZIB grapples with the weight of immortality and the price of servitude. Is his task simply about survival, or does it push him towards something darker and more irredeemable? This type of moral quandary creates an atmosphere of dread and uncertainty that I feel would resonate with audiences, especially those interested in the consequences of power and eternal life. The film's visual style and pacing plays a crucial role in conveying ZIB's internal struggle and the ominous presence of the figures controlling him. It explores the psychological effects of immortality. Does he eventually embrace the evil he is tasked to carry out, or does his humanity persist despite the monstrous contract? Obviously, the central theme of ZIB is immortality, but rather than being a blessing, it's portrayed as a curse. ZIB is granted eternal life by these mysterious figures, but this gift comes with an overwhelming price. He has to perform these deadly tasks to maintain their control over humanity. This taps into the common existential fear that immortality, while alluring, leads to an unending cycle of violence, moral erosion, and despair. The concept of living forever is often tied to the idea that time dulls personal connection and robs life of its meaning. Here, immortality is not presented as a luxury, but as a burden that requires an individual to surrender their autonomy. Over time, ZIB struggles with the weight of this responsibility, as each task erodes his sense of self and possibly his humanity. The longer he lives, the more disconnected he becomes from the life he once knew, suggesting that immortality may actually rob one of their identity, rather than sustain it. The mysterious figures symbolize the unseen forces of power that control humanity from the shadows. Their motivations are unclear, but their role in the story seems to reflect the way power struggles manipulate individuals for their own gain. This could be seen as a critique of systems that use individuals to maintain control, whether that's governmental, corporate, or even the more esoteric system of power itself. ZIB's tasks are not just random. They serve a specific purpose that ensures the figure's control over the world. This plays on the theme of how power often operates covertly, with those in charge remaining hidden while others bear the consequences. ZIB's own lack of agency mirrors the way people in real life are often swept along by larger forces that they don't fully understand, caught in a cycle of exploitation and servitude without even realizing it. In the film, ZIB is forced to carry out these tasks. This theme speaks to the internal conflict faced by those who must compromise their values for the sake of survival or power. The more ZIB succumbs to carrying out these tasks, the more he may lose sight of his own humanity. Each task represents a step toward dehumanization, pushing ZIB further into a role where he becomes little more than a tool for the mysterious, losing his identity in the process. This could also be interpreted as an exploration of the corrupting nature of power. Once someone is given power, or in this case immortality, the temptation to abuse that power or to perform unspeakable acts to maintain it becomes increasingly prevalent. The idea that ZIB is essentially forced into becoming a killer for the sake of maintaining his immortality echoes real-world instances of people who carry out actions that conflict with their moral beliefs, often for a perceived greater good, or because they feel trapped by circumstances. ZIB's fate is essentially sealed from the moment he accepts the offer, and this dynamic touches on the theme of free will versus predestination. While he may have initially chosen immortality, the cost attached to it removes his freedom of choice. He must carry out these tasks assigned to him, regardless of his desire or moral reservation. It could also be said that the film explores the tension between the personal will to live freely and the external forces that shape an individual's path. ZIB may have the physical capacity to live forever, but his life is now controlled by forces beyond understanding. This aspect may challenge the audience to consider how much control they truly have over their own lives, especially when faced with larger societal pressure, obligations, or moral dilemmas. As ZIB carries out more tasks, a psychological unraveling is inevitable. His immersion into violence and the realization that he is serving mysterious, potentially malevolent figures will alienate him from everyone else, and eventually from his own self. The theme of psychological corrosion is potent here. ZIB's immortality isn't just a physical burden, but a psychological one, as the demands of immortality chip away at his psyche. His growing alienation could be illustrated through visual cues in the film. Though ZIB is granted this ultimate power, the film may ultimately suggest that his power is an illusion. The figures who granted this power may seem omnipotent, but their reliance on ZIB to do their bidding indicates that they too are bound by some unseen force or plan. This interplay between seeming omnipotence and hidden dependency sort of reflects the theme that power structures are often fragile and require manipulation and control to maintain their facade of strength. ZIB's struggle with the power he's granted could ultimately lead to the realization that despite being immortal, he is still subject to the whims of the figures. This adds another layer of the film's exploration of control and servitude, showing that even those who seem to hold all the cards may be prisoners in their own right. This film explores complex and thought-provoking themes, centered on immortality, control, morality, and the loss of human agency. Through ZIB's struggle with the tasks assigned to him, the film delves into the darker aspects of power, both external and internal, It's a meditation on how unchecked power can dehumanize and distort the very essence of being, as well as the psychological toll that immortality and servitude can take on a person. The film's portrayal of the cost of immortality and the unseen forces that manipulate lives offers a potent narrative for audiences who enjoy psychological horror and philosophical themes, echoing real-world concerns about agency, power, and the consequences of seemingly universal gifts. Well, friends, that's going to be all for now. If you'd like to check out this film for yourself, I've linked it down below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe for more content, and if you really want to help support the channel, come find us on Patreon, or we do have something else in the works that I think you guys are really going to love. It'll help you support the show and get you some really cool rewards in the process. Until next time, stay safe, beware the concept of living forever, and as always, thanks for watching.